The wealthy transfer student, Sun-Oh, had just returned from abroad and started at his new school. As he walked across campus, every girl who spotted him immediately felt her heart flutter. They all triggered his love alarm, their likes pouring in and setting off notifications on his phone. But Sun-Oh remained completely indifferent to their attention. That all changed one day, when he accidentally bumped into JoJo on the staircase landing. His usually calm heart was suddenly stirred. He even found himself stepping down one level, drawn closer to read the name on her school uniform tag. Quietly, he memorized it, JoJo. In that moment, everything else around them seemed to fade away. The two stood locked at a silent gaze, overwhelmed with shyness. JoJo quickly turned and hurried off, yet her retreat only sharpened Sun-Oh's curiosity about her. This wasn't actually their first encounter. The previous night, right after returning to Korea, Sun-Oh had gone to find his childhood friend Ha-young. To his surprise, he noticed Ha-young quietly following a girl after his part-time job, all the way to the bus stop to make sure she got home safely. Sun-Oh could tell Ha-young had a crush on her, but what truly caught him off guard was realizing that he himself had also fallen for the stranger at first sight. What he still didn't know was that Kim JoJo had lost her parents years ago. She now lived under her aunt's roof, enduring a quiet hardship. Her life was like a modern Cinderella story. To support herself and pay for tutoring, JoJo secretly worked evenings at a barbecue restaurant, then rushed to her aunt's convenience store for a second shift, studying whenever she could between customers. Midnight became her favorite hour. It was when she could finally take expired rice balls and boxed meals from the shelves and enjoy the most satisfying feast of her day. Her aunt gave her no allowance for food. Whenever her homeroom teacher asked how she was doing, JoJo would brush it off by saying she was trying to lose weight. In truth, it was her way of protecting what was left of her pride. And so, this hardworking girl with nothing to her name had somehow managed to capture the attention of the wealthy Hwang Sun-Oh. The man heard someone call his crush Kim JoJo from behind. He immediately turned to look. His best friend, Hwang Sun-Oh, also turned around with a curious gaze. At that moment, the distinctive heart-shaped clouds associated with the love alarm app appeared in the sky. All the students were captivated by the sight. They immediately pulled out their phones to take pictures. JoJo accidentally noticed Sun-Oh's stealing glances at her, but soon, her boyfriend moved and blocked his view. The so-called love alarm is an app that works within a 10-meter radius. If someone who has feelings for you is nearby, the app will ring and send a notification. This allows both people to understand each other's hearts. From the moment JoJo's cousin, Park Gul-mi, first saw Sun-Oh, she secretly set her mind on making him like her. After school, Sun-Oh had his driver follow Kim JoJo.
혜영이가 좋아하는 애.
Although Lee Ha-young denied his feelings, Sun-Oh knew him too well. He could read Ha-young's true feelings just by looking at his expression. They followed JoJo all the way to the convenience store run by her aunt, but Ha-young did not dare to confess his feelings to her because JoJo already had a boyfriend, the same boy who had brought her snacks that day. However, Sun-Oh believed that being in a relationship doesn't automatically mean both people have real feelings for each other. While Gul-mi was sleeping, JoJo had to take over the shift minding the store. But what JoJo didn't know was that every time she worked her part-time job at the barbecue restaurant, there was always one person watching over her quietly. If Ha-young lost sight of JoJo for even a second, he would become anxious and start searching for her. Yet, when JoJo started talking to him, he would become too shy to respond. The wealthy young man was surprised to find the girl he had a secret crush on sitting at the bus stop, completely lost in thought. To his confusion, she had deliberately let her bus home pass by. After turning off her phone, JoJo gathered her courage and stepped into a cosmetics store to kill time. Even though she couldn't afford any of the makeup products, she still loved browsing. After all, what girl doesn't care about beauty? Suddenly, JoJo thought she spotted Sun-Oh's figure quickly passing by outside the store. Later, as she walked home alone, she turned around and was startled to find Sun-Oh following her.
아까부터 따라왔지.
Sun-Oh defensively claimed it was simply the way to his own home. Feeling somewhat embarrassed, JoJo decided not to press the issue. But then, Sun-Oh started a conversation with her. He opened his love alarm app, only to see it hadn't been rung, meaning JoJo didn't like him. Surprisingly, this only made him more curious about her. Without hesitation, he caught up with her and called out her name. He said he needed to talk and guided her into a quiet alley nearby.
키스할래?
미쳤나봐.
JoJo thought he was making fun of her and turned to leave, but Sun-Oh stubbornly grabbed her arm and asked where she was going. She explained she was heading to her part-time job. Sun-Oh couldn't understand why she had to work. JoJo said, with resignation, that someone like him, born into a wealthy family, could never understand her kind of poor, ordinary life. What she didn't realize was that Sun-Oh deeply resented his own oppressive family and was even ashamed of it. JoJo then told him that both of her parents had passed away, and she had no choice but to work part-time to support herself. For a long moment, the two of them stood there in silence. The man suddenly leaned in and kissed the girl. She hadn't expected his sudden boldness, but instead of feeling repulsed, she found her heart fluttering. Just then, the sky opened up, and rain began pouring down. JoJo grabbed Sun-Oh's hand and pulled him under the shelter of a bus stop. Realizing her gesture might have been too intimate, she immediately let go. Feeling a wave of shyness, Sun-Oh found her reaction utterly adorable. This unexpected rain shower somehow brought them closer. Before they knew it, evening had arrived. JoJo rushed to the convenience store where she worked, even though she had proactively taken out the trash. Her aunt still scowled and berated her. The older woman complained that JoJo's 3-hour tardiness had cost her $100 in lost earnings. JoJo quickly promised to make up the missed hours over the weekend, but her aunt wasn't finished. She spitefully pulled out JoJo's debt repayment record to shame her. Meanwhile, Sun-Oh returned to his own home, a place that always made him feel suffocated. Later, he sought out Ha-young, unsure how to explain the situation. Sun-Oh repeatedly asked Ha-young if he had feelings for JoJo. Only after hearing Ha-young's denial, did Sun-Oh finally muster the courage to confess what had happened.
나 김조조랑 키스했거든.
In response, Ha-young simply rose to his feet and walked away without a word. The next day at school, JoJo went out of her way to avoid Sun-Oh, but to her surprise, photos of their kiss had already spread like wildfire across the campus. The guy got beaten to a pulp, all because he'd kissed the other man's girlfriend the day before. Soon after, Sun-Oh's friend showed up. Sun-Oh told him not to get involved, but Ha-young stepped in anyway. In the end, they both ended up taking a beating. Sun-Oh used the moment to ask Ha-young if he also had feelings for JoJo, but Ha-young stubbornly denied it.
좋아할란만 믿자.
선택은 김조조가 하는 걸로.
Meanwhile, JoJo saw the video of her boyfriend violently attacking Sun-Oh. She went to him directly and showed him the love alarm app on her phone. Her boyfriend was completely shocked. He hadn't been the one setting off JoJo's love alarm. He'd always believed he was in love with her. But now it was clear, what he thought was love was nothing more than the comfort of a close friendship. The next day at school, classmates started gossiping behind JoJo's back, calling her shameless. Her cousin, Gulmi, furiously smashed JoJo's phone. She believed that she alone was good enough for Sun-Oh, and that an ugly duckling like JoJo had no right to steal the person she liked. Soon, the two of them were fighting. Luckily, their homeroom teacher arrived in time to pull them apart. Back in the classroom, even JoJo's own classmates were whispering about her. Her best friend acted like she wasn't even there, even putting on headphones to ignore her. JoJo's heart sank. Just then, Sun-Oh appeared. He took her by the hand, right in front of everyone, and led her away. The girl suddenly realized her love alarm hadn't gone off. This could only mean one thing. The man standing before her didn't actually like her. That kiss from yesterday? Nothing but a practical joke. Just as JoJo turned to leave in disappointment, Sun-Oh immediately stopped her. He explained that the reason was because he hadn't activated his love alarm. Sun-Oh then led JoJo to the gymnasium. He was determined to open the love alarm app right then and there, to prove his feelings were genuine. Unknown to them, Sun-Oh's best friend Ha-young was secretly watching from the shadows. He'd been carrying a secret crush for JoJo and wanted to know how she truly felt. Sun-Oh activated the app and confidently showed her his phone screen.
너는 나도 네 거 올렸어?
But JoJo felt too embarrassed to show him hers. At that moment, Sun-Oh spotted Ha-young slipping away, worried his friend might be heartbroken. He rushed after him. However, Ha-young generously said it was fine and gave his blessing to Sun-Oh and JoJo. When JoJo returned to class, she asked her friend why she'd been ignoring her all day. Instead of an explanation, she received harsh accusations. In her friend's eyes, JoJo was nothing but a liar. She'd gone looking for JoJo at her cram school, only to discover JoJo had never even enrolled. What her friend didn't know was that JoJo wasn't skipping cram school by choice. She simply couldn't afford the tuition. At lunchtime, the cafeteria buzzed with students enjoying their meals. Yet Sun-Oh couldn't spot JoJo anywhere. He handed his phone to Gulmi. Full of herself, she immediately assumed the school's most popular guy was finally making a move on her.
김조조 전화번호.
The misunderstanding left her completely humiliated. Both of their love alarms went off at the same time. When Sun-Oh realized their apps had rang for each other simultaneously, he was overjoyed. It could only mean one thing: their feelings were mutual. He reached for JoJo's hand, and in that moment, the rest of the world simply faded away. On their very first official day as a couple, a notification from Sun-Oh popped up on JoJo's phone during class. She opened it to find a photo of his toned abs. JoJo instantly felt her cheeks burn with embarrassment. On their walk home from school, Sun-Oh held JoJo's hand tightly, refusing to let go for even a second. When a group of girls nearby started swooning over their favorite celeb, JoJo couldn't help but glance their way. Seeing this, Sun-Oh surprised her by getting adorably jealous. As they continued walking and talking, Sun-Oh casually brought up his best friend, Ha-young. Then, he suddenly stopped in his tracks and leaned in to kiss her.
뭐야?
질투. 아이돌은 보지도 말고 내 친구 얘기 하지도 마.
Wrapping his arms around her, Sun-Oh was beaming. He even tried to sneak in another quick kiss. In that moment, they were simply overflowing with happiness. The moment Sun-Oh got home, his mom immediately guessed he was dating. The dead giveaway? His new phone wallpaper was a picture of him and JoJo together. That night, Sun-Oh couldn't wait to text JoJo. "Are you still at work?" he asked. Not wanting him to worry, she lied and replied, "No, I'm about to go to sleep." His next message instantly brought tears to her eyes.
아무 꿈도 꾸지 말고 푹 자. 내일 학교에서 보자.
It was the first time she had ever felt so genuinely cared for by someone.